Tonight we're going to tell you how Catholic charities are building low-income micro-housing for residents in Joplin.
Plus, how some Southeast Kansas residents are cooling down from the summer heat and how some Northeast Oklahoma residents look to bring more appreciation for lacrosse.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A ribbon cutting today is part of a project involving some small residences and big ambitions. This is KOAM News at 10. The Joplin United Micro Housing Partnership has completed its goal of adding more low-income housing for residents of Joplin. The 500 square foot tiny duplexes are specifically for low-income individuals trying to become independent. KOAM's Amber Jenkins reports.
Today is a big day for the Joplin United Micro Housing Partnership. After 2 years in development, low-income duplexes are giving Joplin residents a home.
Post the Joplin tornado, there was a big need in the community for low-income housing. And so, throughout the years, we've done what we can to add more housing. And so this partnership came together to do something that we feel like can be affordable to build and affordable for those who need to rent it.
The housing partnership faced many obstacles throughout the project. Gathering funds and surviving COVID were a few of the obstacles this program overcame.
Here it feels wonderful. It took us a lot longer than what we anticipated because of COVID, but now that we've got 2 people in here that really deserve this place, it feels wonderful to be able to do it. And I'd like to be able to do more of this. So we got this through a grant. We didn't get this money through grants. It was a private donation, and so we would be glad to take on any more donations to be able to build this.
Joplin's desperate need for low-income housing kept the project moving forward. Once the affordable duplexes were built, Catholic Charities sheltered 2 residents already.
Because beforehand, these people had no place to go. One was living with her family. She couldn't afford to find a place here in Joplin because it's hard to find low-income rentals here in Joplin. The other lady was in an abusive place. She was living with another roommate, and she was taking her money and not paying rent. So she couldn't find any place to live by herself.
Despite some troubles, all the organizations within the partnership are proud to give back to the community. Wanting to help Joplin's residents fueled the partnership throughout the 2-year project.
Let me tell you, given what all has occurred over the last 2.5 years with the increase in material costs, the difficulty of labor, to finally get this launched and to see it succeed so quickly, that's exciting. To know that we got 2 people in a home that they need and that they're now healthy, safe, and have a place to live.
Amber Jenkins, KOAM News Now, Joplin, Missouri.
Catholic Charities also offer rental and utilities assistance to those who qualify. COVID-19 vaccines are now available to children as young as 6 months old, but not every local hospital has them in stock just yet. While the vaccines are not yet available at Freeman, hospital staff say they plan to meet in a few weeks to discuss available options for children to receive the vaccine. Jessica Liberty, manager of infection prevention at Freeman, says it might be time to start having conversations with your pediatrician to determine if your child should be vaccinated.
You would need to reach out to them to determine that. And I know that here in the next few weeks, Freeman will be meeting to discuss options available for the community for giving the pediatric vaccine.
Freeman pediatricians have already been getting calls about the vaccine for kids under age 5. A little bit cooler today. That was nice. Let's check in with Nick Kelly.
And for some of us, Dow, we cashed in on some rain chances at the very least. Thankfully, if you didn't get any, more rain chances are on the way. But Joplin, you've been looking pretty calm throughout the course of the day. You still do right now after we started at 70, topped out at 91. Still a bit hot, sure, but a lot better than the mid-90s we saw today. And a little bit lower in terms of humidity as well. Pretty much quiet on the Skywatch storage tracker. A few dying showers around Fredonia and Neodesha, and what looks like additional rain trying to come in. All indications show that it's going to be falling apart as we go into the overnight hours to come. So Even though we're winding down rain chances temporarily, our front still parked on top of the region. It's going to try it all over again for tomorrow. In the meantime, mid to upper 70s across the board. Feels just a hair or two warmer because of the humidity. I think we're dry to start the morning out with lows around 71, but that front's going to fire off more scattered thunderstorms. Nothing too heavy during the day tomorrow, Dow, but we'll be on the hot side again with highs near 91. I'll let you know when we'll get a real break from the heat coming up in a bit.
See you then. Authorities have arrested a Springfield, Missouri couple accused of abusing their son in ways that might be considered child torture. The probable cause statement says Joseph and Peggy Flores would put their teenage son naked in a puppy cage with two dogs, pour urine on him, and hit him with an extension cord as a form of punishment. Authorities say the parents would refer to their son using racial slurs. Investigators think the abuse began in March of 2020 when the boy was homeschooled during the COVID shutdown of Springfield schools. A newly renamed program is helping Missouri businesses and farmers receive loans with lower interest rates. Today, Missouri Treasurer Scott Fitzpatrick met with American Ramp Company in Joplin to discuss the benefits of the program called MoBucks. MoBucks is a linked deposit program using state funds and allows businesses to be able to afford necessary equipment and materials at a discounted interest rate. With this program, the American Ramp Company has been able to update some of their equipment, purchase a new laser, and is working on building a new break room.
We used it a couple different times for different purchases, and so as interest rates do rise, and that's currently what's happening, being able to work with with our bank and take advantage of this this state program where it applies and where it's applicable. If it can save us tens of thousands of dollars a year in interest rate and interest payments, we're going to take advantage of it as long as that exists and as long as we can do so.
Missouri business owners and farmers can talk to their bank to learn more about the MoBucks plan. Fitzpatrick also provided an update to the Mo Scholars program. Mo Scholars is the state scholarship program based on 2021. It was passed in 2021 and provides state tax credits for contributions to approved nonprofit educational assistance organizations, or EAOs. Fitzpatrick says the applications are now being accepted, and to begin the process, contact the school you want your child to go to that is partnered with an EAO. You can find more information on the process on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Joplin Fire Department held a ceremony for their brand new fire truck. The wet down ceremony was held at Fire Station number 5, where the fire truck received its first wash, kind of a tradition. The new aerial ladder truck has 107 feet of vertical, 100 feet of horizontal reach without compromising water capacity. The tradition of this first wash also includes an opportunity for the community to push the truck into the bay after the wash.
They're loving it. They're very excited and ready to get into this thing. So it was, we were trying to find a date that worked for everybody, that we could get it done as quickly as we could. Yeah, they're all very excited about getting this in service.
The ladder truck was funded through the public safety sales tax that voters approved back in 2006. Nothing beats the heat quite like a great big splash of cold water. And it was certainly that. The Chanute, Kansas Fire Department contributed to the fun by spraying down kids participating in water wars in Chanute. The event also included all kinds of wet and wild water games. The Chanute Public Library organized the whole thing as part of the summer reading program. The idea is to create some fun and some goodwill between kids and the library.
I really hope that they have a positive association with the library and that this is something that they'll remember when they're adults, and they'll think, hey, I remember going to the library and I remember having a really good time at that water event. Let's go to the library with my kids, and then we can keep that cycle going for generations.
Water Wars wasn't just for the kiddos. No, the fun was open to people of all ages. Coming up, the possibility of new gun reform legislation.
Senate Democratic leadership says they want to pass new gun control legislation by the end of the week. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill with the momentum on this bipartisan deal and the pushback it's getting from critics.
And later, we check out a 3-day lacrosse camp in Wyandotte, Oklahoma.
Looking to cash out.
For the first time in nearly 3 decades, Congress could be closer to passing new gun reform legislation. It's called the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he hopes the Senate can pass it by the end of this week, despite some criticism from both sides. Skylar Henry has more from Capitol Hill.
14 Republican senators joined the Democrats Tuesday to overcome the first procedural vote on new gun control legislation.
This week, we are on track to pass something many believed was impossible a few weeks ago, a meaningful, strong, bipartisan gun safety bill.
The bipartisan deal expands background checks for people under 21, giving up to 10 business days to review juvenile and mental health records, provides money for states to enact red flag laws, which allow courts to seize guns from people deemed dangerous, and closes the so-called boyfriend loophole, preventing partners convicted of domestic abuse that live outside a victim's home from buying a gun. It also invests hundreds of millions of dollars in mental health and school safety resources.
I think it's a significant step in the right direction to deal with the two issues that I think it focuses on: school safety and mental health.
The bill still has some hurdles to clear before a final vote in the Senate. Negotiators on both sides are seeing some pushback on the deal.
There are some folks who really insist, demand broader, stronger gun safety measures. That's just not politically feasible in the current Senate.
GOP Texas Senator John Cornyn was called out by his fellow state Republicans and former President Trump for his involvement in the negotiations.
If I listened to all of the critics, I wouldn't get much done.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she'll put the bill on the floor for a vote after it passes in the Senate. At least one House Republican, Congressman Tony Gonzalez of Texas, has tweeted he looks forward to voting yes on the measure. Gonzalez represents Uvalde, Texas, where 19 children and 2 teachers were gunned down at an elementary school nearly 1 month ago. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
A little later, why some Northeast Oklahoma residents started a lacrosse camp.
Plus additional rain chances in the forecast and eventually a good break from the heat. We'll break it all down next. Thankfully, I'm seeing the numbers trend downward once again as we got past sunset. This is a chance temporarily to get a break from the heat like we saw the other day where we had lows in the lower 70s. Although we did a lot better compared to the mid-90s we had the other day. Lower 70s this morning, topping out near 91, a little bit better at the very least. And for some of you, you were able to cash in on some rain and thunderstorm chances. Certainly our northern counties did to start the day out. Then we had a couple little guys try to flare up around the Will Rogers Turnpike in northeast Oklahoma. But for much of the evening, I've just been keeping an eye on any storms and rain that has been trying to come out of the Wichita area. But as they try to work on in, they keep falling apart as they try to pass over Fredonia and Neodesha. So some of our far western counties maybe saw some light rain or light showers this evening. And as far as what's trying to hold on around Wichita, you can see how it's falling apart even as we speak. So a lot of us dry right now, and I think that's the way it's going to stay as we go through the overnight. But if you need rain still, more rain chances are thankfully on the way. Looking quiet from Indigo Sky outside of Seneca, Missouri, and from 7th and Range Line, where we currently sit at 78. North breeze at 3, dew point at 69, still just enough to make it feel like we're near 80 degrees. But again, numbers trending downward, which is always nice. Upper 70s to near 80, your air temperatures right now, with a little bit of humidity. Feels like maybe the upper 70s to lower 80s again. So not much of the variation there. And eventually we'll drop back into the lower 70s tonight. The rain that we're seeing out to the west is going to fall apart, but all caused by the same frontal system that'll be parked on top of us again tomorrow and ready to do it all over again. This is not the front, though, that's going to scrub out the heat. It's this guy coming finally into the Pacific Northwest. Once that gets into the picture, by the end of this weekend, that's going to finally squash this ridge and get rid of the heat, at least for a little while as we start next week out. We'll show you how it all plays out. Let's start with the short term, though, on your future track forecast. You can see the rain out west. It completely falls apart as we go throughout the course of the night, but we'll still hold on the partly and even maybe mostly cloudy skies. I think we're dry to start the morning drive out with lows around 71. Can't rule out maybe a few showers during the morning hours, but with this frontal system still in place, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw scattered thunderstorm chances again. Otherwise, the front is going to do its best to keep temperatures in check, but we'll go from a mild 71 in the morning to 86 by noon and topping out around 91. I think we're in good shape as we go through Thursday night, but Friday morning I'll be tracking some additional isolated rain or thunderstorm chances to start Friday morning out, but that front lifts back north and that will keep us in the mid-90s as that upper ridge tries to hold on. It's going to push highs in the upper 90s for Saturday, but look at what happens though. That front in the northwest, that's going to finally start knocking on the door late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. That's our best shot for widespread rain and storms. And behind that front, look at what it does. That ridge gets shunted back to the west. We're on the cooler side of the jet again, and we will welcome it with open arms. 91 Thursday, 94 Friday, upper 90s for Saturday, and then finally lower to middle 80s to start early next week down before we're back near 90 on Wednesday. And fingers crossed, we can keep those lows in the lower 60s by Monday and Tuesday morning.
Those lows are remarkable. Be able to open the window at night and it'd get a little chilly, in fact.
That would be mighty nice.
Yes, it would. Thanks, Nick. Hey, Wyandotte Nation teamed up with coaches and players from Missouri State's lacrosse team in Springfield for the high school there for lacrosse camp. The purpose of this camp is to introduce the fundamentals of lacrosse as well as bring this cultural game to the four-state area. Photojournalist Carrie Worthen gives us a look.
So the history of lacrosse is incredible. You know, it's a Native American sport. That's where it originated. It actually got its name not from the Native Americans, but by some of the first settlers that came over and seen them playing, and they thought it was a cross that they were holding in their hands, and you know, so that's kind of how it took its name.
With their cradling. Did you try something uncomfortable and use your weekend?
To me, it was always just something, an outlet for me. Right, I got to meet a bunch of friends, a lot of people who shared a common interest, and it was just a way for me to really express myself as an athlete.
And you guys have got it down in less than 2 days. Super proud of you.
We hope that it will encourage lacrosse in this community and throughout Oklahoma.
Good. Oh, nice snag, TJ. Nice throw, baby. TJ, getting low. One more back to him, Joe. You guys go grab one.
The whole point of us doing this is we want to grow the game. We want to see lacrosse take off here like it has in most other places of the country. You know, the Midwest is always the kind of the last to get it.
We're going to have a lacrosse league that we can have the other tribes join us if they want to work with us, but also community members can play lacrosse.
Wyandotte Nation received a grant that will be used to renovate their powwow grounds and add a lacrosse field. Danny joins us now. A pair of former Pitt State baseball players are beginning their coaching careers.
Yeah, they're part of the Joplin Outlaws staff this summer. We'll hear from Austin Bonnell next. And the Oklahoma Sooners look to stay undefeated at the College World Series against Texas A&M. Those highlights next. Pitt State's Austin Bonnell and Caleb Carr finished their playing careers this past season, but neither is stepping away from baseball. Bonnell and Carr are beginning their coaching careers, and this summer they are assistants on the Joplin Outlaws coaching staff. After that, Bonnell will be an assistant volunteer at Butler Community College, and Carr is heading back to Pitt State to work with outfielders and hitters. As coaches, they have the opportunity to pass down their knowledge and make an impact on someone else's career.
I've learned a lot throughout playing that I want to instill with these younger guys. I wish what I knew now, I wish I knew it 4 or 5 years ago when I was playing. Sharing my knowledge with these kids, it's awesome. I just want them to play hard. That's the only way to play this game. So if they play hard and we make mistakes going hard 100%, I'm completely fine with that. I want to see these guys get better. It's not about me, it's about these guys.
The Joplin Outlaws have now won 3 of their last 4 games and are aiming for back-to-back wins against Des Moines tonight. The Outlaws homered twice early. They score 4 more runs in the 8th, and that's enough to pick up the win on the road tonight, 9-6. Oklahoma meets Texas A&M today for the second time at the College World Series. The Sooners won the first meeting 13-8. With a win today, Oklahoma advances to the finals. first inning, 2 on. Jimmy Crooks goes deep for a 3-run shot. Sooners take a quick lead. David Sandlin locked in today on the mound. 3 straight strikeouts in the 4th here. He pitches 7 innings, allowing 1 run and striking out 12. In the 5th, Tanner Treadaway rips it through the left side. Another run scores for the Sooners, and Oklahoma eliminates Texas A&M and reaches the finals 5-1. In the MLB, the Cards are in the middle of a series with the Brewers. Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado both hit 2-run home runs tonight. St. Louis hangs on to win 5-4. And the Royals are winners of 5 of their last 6, going for the series sweep against the Angels. Late start out on the West Coast. It's tied at 0 in the 4th. That's a look at sports. We're back after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Roy Teeter served in the U.S. Army in 1944 and 1945 during World War II. His hometown, Quapaw, Oklahoma, and we salute Technician 5th grade Roy Teeter, a 4-state hero. Of course, you can learn about lots of other heroes, more than 3,000 of them in our database. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime. It's very simple. You just go to our website. You know what that is, KOAMnewsnow.com. If you're ever on the go and you want to still be able to watch our newscasts live, you can do that very simply. Just download the KOAM Plus app. It's available free of charge on the Apple and Google Play stores, as well as Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Just search for KOAM Plus. It'll be especially handy this summer as perhaps you're out of town, but you still want to see what's going on right here in the 4 states.
And in the short term, too, until we get our full tower back up and running.
Good point. We hope that's going to be full power maybe at the end of the month. We'll see.
Hopefully.
The weather, some rain chances ahead.
Yeah, but they're not going to scrub out the heat just yet. We'll be at 91 tomorrow, mid-90s Friday, upper 90s Saturday, but a stronger front with better rain chances knocks it back into the 80s starting Sunday.
Final sports note.
Good win for the Outlaws. They get back over 500, and now they've won their last 4 of 5 games.
Good for them. Thanks for joining us. Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.
Salon Service is